Your life can only be as free as your interpretations and your perception of it. Whenever we look at a situation, we see our past in it. And when we interpret the present from the past, that is karmic bondage. Because every part gets interpreted, and interpretation is always rooted in the past. If for example, spiders frightened you as a child, you will project that fear onto spiders today as well. If your father was an alcoholic, your judgment about someone who drinks will be clouded by your painful experiences. Just to realize that you're placing an interpretation on everything, no matter how trivial, is an important step toward freeing yourself from the past. Realize that you're always seeing your point of view, and your point of view comes from your experiences of the past. If you find yourself fighting with someone, for example, holding on to your point of view makes the other person a threat, while acknowledging that two opposing viewpoints can be both valid. And if you acknowledge that both viewpoints can be valid, then that would remove the threat of the perception that you are always right and everybody else is wrong. Remember that stage 2 of the stress response, which is appraisal, there's a stimulus and there's an appraisal, is the only stage that you can control, and that is your body's reaction. The only thing that you can control is your body-mind's reaction. Once you have interpreted a situation as a threat, then, of course, your body will automatically give some kind of stress response, adrenaline, cortisol, disruption of the immune system, and so on. So it's important to question your interpretations. Old ones usually don't remain valid beyond the original situation. Once again, old interpretations don't remain valid beyond the original situation. The only way you can end stress is by perceiving it to end. So you have to perceive that the old situation has ended. There's much more to say about how to accomplish this. But in my own life, I have tried to approach every stressful situation with the intention of diffusing its threat in myself. 5 steps have been immensely helpful, and I'll share them with you now. Number 1, realize that you have an interpretation. In a conflict situation, I try to tell myself that my viewpoint is limited. I don't have a patent on the truth. No one has. 2, set aside the old mindset. When I feel tense, I take this as a signal that I'm holding on too tightly to my point of view. This has taken practice over the years. 3, look at things from a new perspective. I focus on the feelings in my body, and as I do, inevitably, my mind starts to see things slightly differently. 4, question your interpretation to see if it is valid. 5, focus on process, not outcome. Stress always arises if you concentrate on how something has to turn out. This is the pitfall of thinking that events can be controlled or forced into predictable outcomes. To overcome this tendency to impose false control, I remind myself that I don't need to know where I'm going. I just need to enjoy the journey and the road I'm on. So when I go through these 5 steps, the daily annoyances that create inappropriate stress dissolve very quickly. So try these if they make sense to you.